Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In previous video, I taught you about AWS modules and I explained you what are the modules in AWS and I provided complete overview of the all the modules in the AWS guys. If you are not watching my this previous video, modules video, please go through. I recommend you, please go through watch this AWS modules. Then you will get a better understand in the now I am teaching you IAM module I am teaching right now. I am teach you IAM module in this video. Then you will get understand modules which are presented in the AWS guys. Please go through my previous video. Those who are not watching my previous video. Now I am going to teach you IAM module is nothing but stands for Identity Access Management guys. Identity Access Management guys. Identity Access Management. See guys, in our company, if you take one company, guys, for example, if you take one company, in company we have user one and user two and user three and user four we have, guys. We have four users in the company, guys. For example, if you take one company, we have four users in that company, guys. We have four users in that company. Now, coming to this IAM module, guys, what is that IAM module will do in AWS means, and for what purpose we have to use that IAM module in AWS means, if you want to create users, if you want to create, if you want to create users, if you want to create users, and if you want to provide some permissions, provide some permissions to that user, if you want to provide some permissions to that user, you want to provide some permissions to that user, and if you want to allocate some policies to that user, if you want to allocate some policies to that user, and if you want to delete that user, if you want to maintain the complete security credentials of the user, then you have to work with IAM module, guys. Then you have to work with IAM module, guys. IAM module is very simple, guys. It is simply, we call it as user creations and managing the users, guys. Simply, we call it as providing permissions to the users and user creation and managing the users in a group. And also, we can create groups, also, guys. We can create groups and we can add some of the users into this group, also, guys. Into this group, also. In this video, completely, I will explain you complete theory related to the IAM module, guys. In the next video, I will show you a practical way how to work with IAM module and how to practice the IAM module in AWS console. In next video, I will teach you. In this video, I will teach you complete theoretical part, guys. Theoretical part I will teach you. See guys, user management. This IAM is the user management, guys, which is used for user management and user creations, user creation and allocating the permissions to the user, allocating allocating the permissions for the users, guys. Permissions for the users and security credentials. If you want to maintain security credentials, we have to work with IAM and creating roles and assigning the roles to the users, guys. I will explain you all these terms Then you will understand better. Complete IAM module, you will get one idea, guys. See, guys, for example, in our company, this is the one company, guys. This is the one company called ABC company, guys. In the ABC company, guys, we have lot of people we have, guys. For example, if you take group of members, one group of members, if you take, this is the one team, guys. This is the one team in that company. In this team, we have user one and user two and user three, guys. If you want to assign some task related for that users, at first we have to create users, right? At first we have to create users. For creating users, we use IAM module, guys. For creating users, we use IAM module. In that IAM module, we create users and we have to provide some policies, guys. In AWS, we have term called policy. We have one term called policy, guys. Policy is nothing but set of permissions, guys. Policy is nothing but policy is nothing but set of permissions. Policy is nothing but set of permissions, guys. Set of permissions. For example, guys, for example, policy is nothing but set of permissions, guys. Policy is nothing but set of permissions. For example, if you take user one, guys, if you take user one, if you take user one, see, guys, for user one, I have to provide only S3 related services, guys. For user one, I have to provide S3 service only. I have to provide permission on only S3, guys. And for user two, I have to provide permission only in EC2. Only in EC2. I hope you know what is S3 and what is EC2. In the previous video, I explained you what is EC2 and what is S3. S3 stands for Simple Storage Service and EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, guys. Coming to S3, guys, S3 is nothing but used to store data and work with data. And coming to EC2, it is nothing but creating servers and managing the servers to run our applications, guys. For if we take for user one, I am providing only S3 access, guys. Only providing S3 access. And for user two, I am providing only EC2 access, guys. Only EC2 access. If I want to provide only particular resources for the user one, I have to use policies, guys. I have to use term called policy. Policy is nothing but set of permissions. Policy is nothing but set of permissions. After creating one user, after creating user, it will ask AWS Management Console, it will ask you what kind of policies we have to provide this user. It will ask you. In that time, we have to provide only S3 policy. Only S3 policy. For if you want to provide for user one S3 policy, we have to select S3 policy, guys. In that, it will show you some of the list related to policies, whatever we have in AWS. From that list, we have to select S3 full access. S3 full access, guys. S3 full access is nothing but complete S3 services you are providing access to the user one, guys. Whatever S3 in S3 that user one can perform anything, guys. That all S3 permissions you are accessing the for the user one, guys. For user one, only he can access only S3 related services only, guys. Apart from S3, no service he can able to access, guys. For suppose if you take user 1, I provided only S3 permissions to the user 1. Suppose if I want to access user 1 wants to access EC2. If user 1 is, if you want to access EC2, it will show deny. It will show deny, guys. I mean, it will show error. It will show error for the user 1. Why? Because for the user 1, I have allocated only S3 policy only. Only S3 permissions I provided for the user 1. But here, if user 1 wants to access EC2 module, I mean EC2 service, it won't allow for the user 1, guys. It won't allow for the user 1. This setting the permissions and denying the permissions, it is nothing but least privilege mechanism. Least least privilege least privilege mechanism, guys. Least privilege mechanism. Least privilege mechanism, guys. Least privilege mechanism in the sense providing permissions whatever we need to provide for the users. For suppose for the user 1, I want to provide only S3 permission and I want to deny all the resources. And for the user 2, I have to provide only EC2 permissions and I have to deny remaining services, case. That is nothing but a least privilege mechanism. Providing whatever service, providing services to the user by using policies. It is nothing but least privilege mechanism. Here, here if you take user 2, here if you take user 2, for the user 2, I provided for the user 2, I provided only EC2 policy. I mean EC2 permissions I provided to user 2. Here in the after creating user 2, it will ask you what policies you have to provide to the user 2. Then at the time of policy, at the place of policy, I taken here, I taken here EC2 policy, guys. EC2, EC2 full access. I am providing, I am providing user to EC2 full access. EC2 full access is the one policy, guys. I mean, whatever we need to perform in EC2 module, all services in the EC2, it will allow for the only user 2, guys. It won't allow to the user 1. Why? Because I am allocating this EC2 policy, full access policy to the user 2 only. Suppose if user 2, suppose if you take user 2, if you want to access S3 services, if user 2 want to access S3 services, it will deny. It means it will show error to the user 2, guys. It will show error to the user 2 for you. User 2 wants to access S3 services. Why? Because I provided for the user 2 only EC2 permissions. It will allow only EC2 services only. It won't allow any other services, guys. It won't allow any other services, guys. This is all about creating users and providing permissions to the user and what is the least privilege mechanism. Least privilege mechanism in the sense providing the permissions to the user, restricted permissions. User 1, I am providing only S3 permission. For user 2, I am providing only EC2 permission. I hope you got it, guys. What is user? Why we need users, guys? We are discussing about users, right? Here we are discussing about users. We calling users. Why we need users in the console in AWS or organization? Why we need to? Why we need users? Users is nothing but simply people, guys. Employees. Users is nothing but employees, guys. If if our company, if we want to work with project, we need employees, right? That employees names we are creating in the AWS, we call it as users, and we are providing some permissions to that employees. I hope you got it. Some permissions we are providing to that employees, guys, that we can done in IAM module, guys. That all we can done in IAM module, guys. And in coming to policy, guys, policy is nothing but set of permissions. Set of permissions providing to the users. Set of permissions providing to the user by using policy. In AWS, guys, we have three types of policies, guys. We have three types of policies. One is AWS, one is AWS managed policy, one is AWS managed policy, one is AWS managed policy, and the second one is AWS managed policy with job function. AWS managed policy with job function, guys. Job function. AWS managed policy with the job function. And third one is custom policy. And third one is custom policy. Custom policy, guys. These are the policies we have in AWS, guys. One is AWS managed policy. One is AWS managed policy. And the second one is AWS managed policy with the job function and custom policy, guys. See, guys, AWS managed policy is nothing but by default, AWS provided some of the policies to us. We can use that policies, guys. We can directly use that policies which is providing by the AWS, guys. For example, if you take, we have the policies like I will tell you some of the examples policies like S3 full access, S3 full access, EC2 full access, EC2 full access, RDS, RDS full access, VPC full access, VPC full access. These are the some of the examples, guys, how policies will show you in a list. Here, AWS S3 full access means whatever we have to perform in S3, all the permissions related to S3, it will show you, guys. It will give permissions related to S3 services. You can perform anything in the S3 platform. You can perform anything in the S3 module, guys. And coming to this EC2 full access, you can perform anything which is related to only EC2, guys. For example, in previous example, I told you for user 1, I provided S3. It means user 1 can perform anything in the S3 module. And user 2 can perform anything in the EC2 module. Like that, we have AWS managed policies, guys. These are the policies provided by the AWS itself, providing to us. We can simply we can use it by defaultly. That is about AWS managed policies, guys. And coming to AWS managed policy with job function, AWS AWS managed policy with job function, guys. Guys, job function is nothing but in the market, whatever we have standard jobs. For suppose if we take administration jobs, we have some of the standard jobs, right? Some of the standard jobs. Based on the jobs, standard jobs in the market, based on the standard jobs in the market, AWS created some of the policies, guys. In that policies, in the job function based policies, we contain group of the policies, guys. We have AWS managed policies, right? It will combine the it will combine the group of policies, and it will combine the group of policies, and it will add into the one policy, and they created based on the job standard jobs in the market. Based on the standard jobs in the market, AWS combined the sum of the policies related to the job and created the new policy that it will show that we can use it. We can use it simply. That is nothing but AWS managed policy with a job function, guys. Here, there is simple, guys. There is no difference in between these two. In this job function, it contains multiple policies combined together in one policy. In one policy, it will contain multiple policies related to job. Whatever job they are marketing jobs, we have standard jobs. Based on the jobs, they combined some of the policies and created one new policies. We can directly use that policy. We no need to perform anything, and we no need to combine those policies. We can simply use it. They already did it. And coming to coming to custom policy, guys. Custom policy is nothing but our own policy, guys. Own policy. Own policy is nothing but we are creating our own policies in the AWS console. We are we are creating our own policy in the AWS console, guys. We are creating our AWS policy. Yeah, custom policy, guys. Custom policies is nothing but our own policy, guys. Based on the permissions and based on the restrictions and based on the conditions, we are creating our own policies, and we are providing that policies to the user, guys. We are creating we are creating our own policies based on our conditions and restrictions and permissions, and we are assigning that policy to the user. That is nothing but custom policies. AWS managed policy means AWS provided some of the policies. Job function means they provided some of the policies related to the standard jobs in the market. Custom policy is nothing but we are creating our own policy, and we are assigning that policy to the user, guys. These are the policies we have in IAM module, guys. Policy is nothing but set of permissions providing to the user. Simply we call it a set of permissions. And one more concept we have called groups, guys. Groups. Guys, you all know WhatsApp group, you know, Facebook group, Instagram group. We all know group. Group it is nothing but combining all the people we are combining in one place, guys. Whatever, for suppose in our company, we have three users, guys. We have three users. For three users, we have same permissions. We have same permissions. We have same permissions for the three users, guys. Same permissions for the three users. We have same permission. Instead of instead of providing permissions to the first user and the second user for the again same permission and for third user again same permission, instead of providing separately for one by one, if we are providing permissions to same permission, it will take time. It will take time and the time waste of the time, right? For three users, we have same permissions. For that, in this case, in this scenario, we will go with groups, guys. We will go with groups. At first, we create one group. We will create one group, and we will create one group, guys. For suppose, if these three members they have only RDS permissions, RDS full access. RDS full access, guys. For these three users, they have only one permission, that is the common permission called RDS full access, guys. If we are instead of providing separately to each and every user same permission, what I am doing here it is, at first I am creating one group called RDS group I am creating. I am creating RDS group, guys. The name of the group is RDS, and I am providing the permissions called RDS full access, guys. RDS full access permissions I am providing here. RDS, RDS full access permissions I am providing here for the group. I am creating one small group called with the name of RDS, and I am providing the permission for that group RDS full access. Here, we have three users, right? I am adding the user one into this RDS group and user two into RDS group and user three into the RDS group, guys. Those who are present in this RDS group, they will get, those who are present in this RDS group, all these group members, they will get RDS full access permissions. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Which permission they will get? Those who are in the present in the group, RDS full access permission. I hope you got it, guys. I hope I hope you got it, guys. What I am teaching you, I hope you're getting my point. Instead of creating user and providing the permission separately, I am creating one group and I am provided the permission for group and I am adding the users into the group, guys. I hope you got it, guys. I hope you understand what is group, why we need to create group. Suppose guys, one new fresher recently joined in the company, and he also, this fresher also need RDS permissions, guys. This fresher also have to work with RDS module, and instead of creating this fresher and assigning the RDS module, RDS permissions, instead of creating all these separately, I can simply add this fresher into this group, guys. Yes or no? We can add it or not, guys? We can add it or not? Yes or no, guys? We can simply add it this fresher user into this group. After adding this fresher user into this group, by default, he will get RDS permissions. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? Yes, guys. Yes or no? Yes. For fresher also, he will get RDS permissions, right? That is the reason why we need to move with groups, guys. I hope you got it, the concept of groups. Till now, till now, you learned about users, why we need users, and how to assign the permissions to the user, and the policies we have, and the policies we have, and the groups we have, groups you learn, and why we need to create groups you learn. And come to next point, guys. We have one more point called roles, guys. Roles. Guys, roles is also nothing but permissions, guys. But in the case of roles, guys, suppose um suppose one user working with EC2, guys. One user working with EC2 and second user working with S3. Second user working with S3. But but after some days, guys, after working, the work is going smoothly, but one day user one user one need S3 access, guys. User one but one day user one have to work with, for some time he have to work with S3 module. We have to work with S3 module, guys. If you want to work with S3 module in the EC2, in the in the EC2, in the EC2, if you want to work with S3 module, in the EC2, if you want to work with S3 module, we go with the roles, guys. We go with roles. After assigning the role to the to this EC2, we are assigning the S3, we are assigning S3 as a role to the EC2, guys. Then in the EC2 service, in the EC2 service, we can access S3 service also. In the EC2 service, we can access S3 service also, guys. Here role is nothing but uh, accessing 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 one service inside another service, guys. Role is nothing but accessing one service inside the another service. In the EC2 service, I am accessing the S3 service in the EC2. Suppose it is nothing but roles, guys. If you want to access this S3 service in the EC2 service, means we have to provide one role called S3 role. Whatever service, if you want to access in another service, that service role you have to provide to the EC2. Whatever service you have to add to the other service, you have to provide that role, you have to create that role, and you have to assign that role to the EC2. I hope you got it, guys. What is the role? We can simply access one service inside the another service, guys. That is nothing but roles, guys. These are the some of the terms related to IAM, guys. These are the terms related to IAM. And if you need, and again, these are the roles, guys. Accessing accessing one service inside the another service is nothing but roles. And we have one more concept called uh, conditions, guys. Conditions. Conditions is nothing but uh, restricting the permissions to the users list. We are providing some of the conditions to the user. For example, uh, if you take S3, if you take S3, guys, if you take S3 here, uh, for user one, I provided S3, guys. User one, I provided S3 access. Here, here the conditions is nothing but uh, the user, this S3 is there now. In S3, what we use it for S3, we use it to store the data. Store the data. Whatever the data we are storing in the S3, we have to store in buckets, guys. We call it as buckets. In the normal technical term, we call it as folder. In folder, we are storing the data and files. In the coming to AWS S3, we call it as bucket, guys. We call it as buckets. If I want to conditions here, it is nothing but how it will work means. For suppose I I created one user and I am providing the S3, and S3 I am providing only in Mumbai region, guys. Mumbai region I am providing. Mumbai region, but this user can access this S3 service only in the Mumbai region, guys. Only in the Mumbai region. Here I am applying one condition called Mumbai. Here I am applying one condition called Mumbai, guys. Only in the Mumbai region itself, he can access this S3. In other countries, I mean, we have Northern Virginia, we have in other countries, Singapore region we have. In other regions, he is not able to create this S3 related service. I hope you got it, guys. I am applying one condition. I am applying one condition, and I am restricting that user to only Mumbai region. I am not allowing to other regions, guys. This is this is how conditions will work, guys. And coming to we have two of the terms called access, access and deny, guys. Access and deny. Here, here, guys. Access is nothing but allowing that user to that permissions, guys. For suppose here I taken one user, here I taken one user. I am providing S3. Instead of a full access, guys, S3 full access, I am providing a read permission, S3 read, S3 write, S3 write I am providing, guys. S3 read and S3 write. I am allowing that user only for reading and writing in the S3, guys. To read the data and to write the data, only two operations I am allowing this user. Access is nothing but allowing, I mean providing permissions of that user, allowing that user to the permissions, guys. Here, the Denny means we are denying the resources to the user. We are denying the resources to the user, guys. See, guys, for user, you provided full permissions, guys. You provided full permissions. Whatever permissions you have, you provided full permissions. And at last, you simply applied a deny option. You simply at last you simply applied one option called deny. One option called deny option you applied, guys. This deny will take effect when compared to all these access, guys. This deny will take effect when compared to this deny will effect takes place effect when compared to allow access, guys. If you provide 100 access to that user and provide only one deny, it will uh, it will it will take place only deny. It will affect only deny operation, guys. It will not allow. Here, you applied 100 access and one deny. Deny will take effect, guys. Deny will take effect when compared to access. When compared to 100 access, here Denny will take effect. Denny is nothing but uh, uh, Denny is nothing but not providing permissions to that, not providing permissions, guys. We are denying that permissions to that user. That is nothing but Denny, guys. That is nothing but Denny and access. Denny will take effect when compared to access. If you provide 100 access and one Denny will consider first. First priority, first priority will give to the Denny, guys. It will give first priority to the Denny when compared to access, guys. I hope you got it, guys. What is I hope you got it. What is user? How to create? Why we need to user and permissions to the user, policy to the user, and the least privilege. What is the least privilege mechanism, and groups, why we need groups, and groups, why we need groups, and conditions we know, and access and Denny we know, guys. Access Denny we know. These are the terms related to IAM modules, guys. And roles, about roles. Roles, roles. Why we need roles? These are the terms related to IAM modules, guys. These are the terms related to IAM module. This in this video, this is the all about IAM module theoretical part, guys. In next video, I will show you practical how to create user and how to provide policies to the user and how to create groups and how to add users into the group. What is the role? How to create role? How to add role to the users and access any conditions. All these I will show you in practical way in tomorrow session, guys. If you like my video, guys, if you like my video and my content, please subscribe to my channel, guys. Please subscribe to my channel and please like the video and click the bell icon, guys. Click the bell icon, then you will get click the bell icon, then you will get notifications after making a video, new video on my after uploading a new video in my channel. You will get notifications. Then you can watch without missing that videos, guys. Please subscribe to my channel. That's all for today, guys. Thank you. See you later, guys. Bye bye.